Okay, so I'm not a doctor, so I know I may be explaining it wrong. So I'm not going to say the palpitations were making me want to pass out, but it was just that I was so stressed until when I'm sitting doing my work, it's like my body was recognizing all of I'm gonna say the suffering that I was going through mentally, and I was literally feeling like I was gonna pass out in my seat. While I'm sitting there, I have to get up. It was going on so much until it literally kept me in tears. I was like, this is way too much. But then when my weekend came, Friday evening would start, and I would start to feel better. I would go hike, I would go do all of these different things, come back, I'm feeling great. By Tuesday, it was back at it again, and I said, nope, I think that it is most definitely this job. Have you guys ever experienced being at 100% on your weekends? Like you're feeling extremely great. Everything is wonderful, but for some reason, when the weekdays start, you start to become ill. On Monday, you feel sick. You don't know what's going on with you. You have no idea what's happening. You're gloom and doom all during the week. Well, it could just be that your job is making you sick. And yes, there is a such thing as that, because I went through it as well, and I'm going to tell you what my experience was. Maybe you guys can jot down whatever you've experienced in the comment section at the end of the video, and we can have a discussion about it. At first, I was feeling okay with the job that I was doing, but sometimes a job will get you stressed. And you know that saying that stress kills? Well, yeah, it does. And I'm going to explain to you how it does, because it causes a lot of stress and strain over your entire body. Things go to happening that you can't explain. No one can explain it to you. They give you all of these different diagnoses, but at the same time, it's just something internal, mentally, that's going on with you that makes you sick every single day. And it all could possibly start with your job. So in my instance, I had started having these issues where I was feeling like my heart was pounding like 100 beats a minute sometimes, and then sometimes it would slow all the way down, and I was trying to figure out what it was, what was going on. I didn't know what was happening. Sometimes it would beat so hard in the middle of the night till it would wake me up. It was like somebody punched me in my chest. I would be afraid to go to sleep at night, like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to sleep in my bed, I'm gonna die in my bed, my kid gonna come over here to visit, and then he gonna find me that way, and I did not want that to happen. And so I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on. I was in a serious bad situation, and I could not explain for the life of me what was going on. I knew I wasn't eating anything different, I wasn't drinking anything different, I wasn't doing any type of drugs, I wasn't doing anything, but during the week, mysteriously I would be ill. And I'm like, what is actually happening with me? So the first time I went to the doctor, and they looked me over. They gave me all of these tests. They run the hemoglobin and all of that, the basic stuff, vitamin D, all of that, to just see if it's something that's low that's causing me to feel ill, because they couldn't make out what was going on with me, because according to them, my blood, my BMI, my temperature, my oxygen, my respiration, everything was on par. So what in the world could be happening? So once they hooked me up to one of those little machines, they come back with this little pamphlet. And I don't know if you guys can read this or not, but the pamphlet at the top, you see where it says palpitations care instructions? You see it right there? Your care instructions. They said that I was suffering from severe heart palpitations, and that I needed to find a way to calm down, and whatever was going on with me, I needed to get myself together before it causes more problems. Because with heart palpitations, eventually things can occur, as far as your heart and your health is concerned. So I knew that I wasn't drinking any caffeine, because I don't drink caffeine at all. Well, sometimes I may sneak a Coke in here or there, but it's very seldom and in between because caffeine causes inflammation in my body. So I don't eat chocolate and all of that different stuff. I don't drink alcohol. I don't take any illegal drugs. I don't do any of those things. I was trying my best to get plenty of sleep. And of course, we have those nights where we don't. But as far as overeating, I knew I wasn't doing that. So what in the world could be actually happening to me, and what was making me feel so bad? It took me a minute to realize that it was the actual job itself. But before I realized that it was my job, I was going through situations where, like, on Monday morning, I would start to feel bad. I was looking at all types of things. I was like, is it my chair? Is it the chair that I'm sitting in when I work? Is it some sort of air that's coming in? Maybe I have dust mites or something. Maybe I need to up, instead of just moving my bed and stuff around and sweeping all around and mopping the whole room, and making sure I get all up under everything and like a lunatic every 2 weeks. Maybe I need to do this every week on Friday, take it upon myself and move the bed, sweep, mop. I mean, it was driving me insane as to what was going on. I was like, something is making me feel bad. Do I have something in here that I need to move around? I know it's not perfume because I'm not wearing perfume while I sit and work. So what could be the problem? I didn't know, but I was feeling sick. I would get lightheaded. Sometimes it would feel like it's burning at the top of my head. I would feel it. I would feel like I'm going to pass out. My oxygen level was going down. It was so bad. And I knew that it was happening because my daughter, she's a nurse, and she was here with me at the time. And I would have her hook me up to her stuff, and I would have to stop working and go lay down across the bed so that she can try to get my vitals and see what's going on. One time my oxygen level was so low until she was trying to rush me to see the cyanide so we could see what was going on with me. But by the time we got over there, and you know how it happens with your health, by the time you get to the doctor, everything be done leveled out, and now all of a sudden there's nothing. So when they run tests on you, there's nothing. You're fine, and now you look like a clown. You just done showed up at the doctor's office and there's nothing wrong with you. Man, it was driving me insane. And the whole time, it was the job that was stressing me out. Now, I knew I was getting severely irritated every single day when I went to work. Well, not every day, but for the most part, I was getting severely irritated with my job. I'm sure a lot of you have worked jobs where the expectations is something that they expect from you, or the whole quote unquote team as a whole, that nobody can do unless you're a computer. You know what I mean? If you ever take on a job, or if you work from home, please put it in the comment section and let me know, have you ever experienced this on your job from home? Because it seems like when you work from home, that's when they give you even more work because they can't keep an eye on you. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I felt like the expectations were like way over. And when I work 100, I give over 110%, sometimes even more than that. Not because, I'm trying to do a kumbaya and, have the little pat on my back. None of that, but because I just go to work. When I go to work, I work. If I take on the job, when I know it's time to go to work, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to come home. I'm not one of those that just find all these different days to miss just because I don't want to go to work. If I hated my job that much, I quit. So that's not me. I jump on whatever I got going on in my life, and I do the best that I can at whatever I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you can agree with that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you do the same thing. So when you have a job that is asking you to do so much unnecessary stuff to you, because to the job, apparently, they don't consider it unnecessary, because if they did, they wouldn't give it to you. But when you feel like that you're being overwhelmed and you have these quotas and all these different things to meet, and see, I had never, in my defense, I had never worked a job that required quotas, period, because I tried to make sure I steered clear of those by all means necessary. So I ended up with one of those that had a quota, and the quota was something that you would think you could do, because I thought I'd be able to do it, and then it turns out the job was completely overwhelming. It was a lot of stuff and hidden things that they didn't tell me about that was mixed in with that job. So it was actually stressing me every single day. And all of these meetings to check on how much work you're doing. You know how they have the meetings where they want to talk to you about production and how much you've met and whatever you met the quota and what you could do better and all of that. You know, like I'm a child. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably still do some of those jobs right now today. That type of stuff right there was stressing me out. And every time I knew it was time for a meeting, I would be getting so mad. Like, oh my God, what are we talking about today? I have done my part, so I don't want to hear nothing about you. You're there, but you know, if you could just get a little bit more. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that when I'm wide open. Some days, even at home, I was missing my own breaks at the house. And I know y'all like, I can't believe you. Yep, I would miss my breaks just so I could knock my work out and be done for the day. And I realized that the job was actually stressing me out, but only after I went back to the doctor. My doctor told me, look, I don't think there's anything wrong. So they took me and they had me to go and they hooked the, what do you call it, the EKG up to me and to see what was going on. They saw that it had a little, you know, the little palpitations was still going on. It was doing a little skip the beat here or there, a little poop poop here or there, you know what I'm saying? But then they were still telling me that that's all it was. So they did an x-ray and all of those different things on me, you know, just to satisfy me. So now my bills are growing because in my mind, there's something else wrong, okay? We woke up, well, I'm gonna say I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning because my heart like hit me so hard. And I was like, oh, it startled me out of my sleep. So we went to the emergency room and that's when they hooked me up again. So then when I came home, like within the next hour or so, the doctor called me and said that they had seen something on my x-ray and for me to come back. Okay. So this is when they actually seen what I was talking about as far as my oxygen level going down. So I go to the hospital to see what was going on. Anyway, it was nothing. Come to find out, the robe that they had me on, the gown they had me to put on, it was in the way of the x-ray machine. When they did it again, everything was clear. So my lungs was clear, my heart was clear as far as they could see, right? My breast, everything was okay. So they didn't know what was going on with me, but they had me in a room and I was laying in a bed. My heart rate went down so far until the nurses come sliding up in the room because they thought something was wrong. But I was literally just laid back. You know, I'm laid back, I'm chilling, right? And they come running in there. It was like, what happened? What happened? I was like, I don't know. And I looked at the machine. I said, well, about time y'all see what I'm talking about. This happens all the time. So they were telling me, Deidre, you have to be just severely stressed. Whatever it is, you got to get away from it, whether it's a job, whether it's a person, whether it's family, friends, or foes. You got to get away from these people, whatever it is that having you stressed, because it is going to kill you. So I went home. They had set me an appointment. I went back for the cardiologist. The cardiologist hooks me up to a Holter monitor, and that's what you see it there. It says Holter, a Holter monitor. So they hooked me up to a Holter monitor, and I wore it home, and I kept it on for a week. So I was supposed to bathe in it and everything, and not take it off for a week, and so they can see what was going on with it. And it came back as the same thing, palpitations. So when I realized that the palpitations was getting so bad until they were actually making me feel like I was going to pass out. Okay, so I'm not a doctor, so I know I may be explaining it wrong. So I'm not going to say the palpitations were making me want to pass out, but it was just that I was so stressed until when I'm sitting doing my work, it's like my body was recognizing all of the I'm gonna say the suffering that I was going through mentally, and I was literally feeling like I was gonna pass out in my seat while I'm sitting there. I have to get up. You know, it was going on so much until it literally kept me in tears. I was like, this is way too much. But then when my weekend came, Friday evening would start, and I would start to feel better. I would go hike. I would go do all of these different things, come back, I'm feeling great. By Tuesday, it was back at it again, and I said, nope, I think that it is most definitely this job. And I narrowed it down because one day I was sitting in there just enjoying my day. I was working, the TV was playing in the background, and I was working. Nobody was bothering me. I was actually having a pretty good day. And then I got a team meeting thing pop up on my computer. And as soon as I seen it and I looked over there and recognized what was about to happen, it was about to be one of those little funky meetings that when they get everybody together and just re-talk about the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I mean. I started to feel flustered, like I was getting sweaty around my forehead. And I started to feel, and I said, yep, it is most definitely this job. So have you guys ever had a job where you know that the job is literally making you sick? If you have, please leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it, because if you have, I'm telling you, that is one of the main reasons. If you don't have one, this would be a main reason for you to let that job go. And I know, like, once again, it's easier said than done. Find you something else and then let that job go. I don't want nobody, to face any type of horrific situation because you done let your job damn near kill you. Okay? Because once I realized what it was, and I already knew a long time ago, way before it started happening, that it was time to cut it loose and find me something else to do, or just at least give myself a break before I find me something else to do. I knew it was time, but I still just kept getting up and kept going to work, logging in every day and doing that job. Why? Because I had become content with the work. I had gotten to a point where I was used to doing it every day, and it was just part of my routine. And a lot of you are going to jobs every single day because it is just simply a part of your routine, and you don't even know yourself why you're still going to that job each and every day. You're like, oh my God, I need to find something else to do. Oh my God, I hate that job. It's the same conversation at the water fountain. It's the same conversation talking to your coworker that's sitting next to you. It's the same conversation when you go outside on break. Oh my God, I hate the job. Oh my God, I hate my manager. Oh my God, all of these different things. And if your reason is a legitimate reason for not wanting to be in that space, then you need to leave that space and replace. Leave a comment in the comment section and let's talk about it. And once again, don't end up with a file this thick, because them doctor bills was no joke. The insurance wasn't covering all of that. I was doing too much. My doctor even told me, Deetra, once we hook you up to this halter machine and it comes back that there's nothing wrong with you, don't you come back over here. Whatever you got going on in your life, you need to get rid of it. When you come back the next time I see you, you need to have a smile on your face and be happy the way you used to be. Y'all leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Has your job ever made you sick? If it is, once again, it is time to let that job go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I'll be bringing you something back later. Have a nice day.